Good evening. Welcome to the January 29th meeting of the Aiken City Council. If you're inclined, please rise for the invocation, followed by the pledge. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city of Aiken the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Chief, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Before the meeting begins, I will review the guidelines. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed, and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. There should be no disruptions from the floor while council members or members of the public are speaking. Anyone wishing to speak must be recognized so that we can retain order, the business of the city, and all comments can be put into the public record. During public hearings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address council, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from council are posed to the speaker. During the non-agenda public comment section, each speaker has 3 minutes and can only speak once. We now move to additions and deletions to the agenda. I recognize Mayor Pro Tem Kay Broll for this agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. We're glad you're here tonight, that you came out in this cold weather, and we hope you stay warm this coming few days. Madam Mayor, I move to amend the agenda by moving the item entitled "A Resolution Authorizing the City of Aiken to Enter into a Settlement Agreement and Release Regarding the Settlement of the Blake et al. Versus City of Aiken lawsuit." I'm asking to move it from petitions and requests to immediately after presentations. There are no other additions or deletions to the agenda, and I propose this in the form of a motion.
Thank you. Councilwoman Broll made the motion, and a second from, please.
Second.
I second.
Councilman Waldo, he beat you to it.
Yes.
All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. The minutes were provided to council for review prior to the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion. Second.
Second.
Councilman Waldo. Any comments or changes? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. There are 2 presentations on the agenda tonight. The first presentation is from the Friends of Hopelands and Rye Patch. Will Mr. Michael Cowan and Dr. Holly Waltz please come forward for our presentation?
Good evening. I'm Michael Cowan. My address is 162 Longwood Green Court in Aiken, South Carolina.
And I'm Dr. Holly Waltz. I reside at 524 York Street, Southeast in Aiken.
And if you don't mind, they've got this queued up for us, and Holly's going to do the first portion, and then I'll pick up and do with the closing, if that's all right.
Thank you for the opportunity again to address you all. This is the 4th time that we've done this, and there are 3 new city council members, one of whom replaced my husband. So welcome to Mrs. Morgan, to Mr. Waldo, and Mr. Messina. And I invite you and would love to, some of us, tour you through Hopelands and Rye Patch when the weather gets better. So let's begin. This is a fantastic place, Hopelands Gardens and Rye Patch. It is very popular and every year we win the bragging rights to quite a few things through the Aiken standards. Aiken's Choice Best last year was 2025. We are the best place for the first date, to propose, and as Mrs. Diggs knows, to get married. But most important, for the city of Aiken, we are the best local historic landmark, and we are the best place to take a visitor. It is a wonderful collaboration between the Friends, started or chartered in 1971, and the city of Aiken. It is a collaboration of 55 years. And in 1981, Dorothy Knox Goodyear Rogers, her children, gifted Rye Patch to the city of Aiken. So it is 24 acres, and it is a place of history, serenity. It is a place, a peaceful refuge for people and animals. It is for serenity and nature. And you can recognize the Hall of Fame, Rye Patch, the Oak Alley, and the reflecting pools where the house of Hope Goddard Island once stood. But it is serenity, a place where people walk and talk, people and animals. I see your husband there almost every day with your 2 pups. So it is a marvelous place for nature. Hope Goddard Island established it as a bird sanctuary. And we have so much wildlife, so much to do. But it is more than that, and it has become more than that. Story time, can you believe, has taken place for 34 years. Started behind the Hall of Fame, moved to the sand patios, needed more space. And so now it's at the grounds of Rye Patch. The books, the sessions are in fall and spring. We, the Friends, sponsor 2 sessions, and I guess you could say we might be in competition with Dolly Parton and the Imaginative Library, because the children who come all sessions, they go home with free books. So that means 20 books. I think that's rather amazing. And the kids have fun. They're out on the grounds, they're playing, and afterwards, the family, usually the mom is there with the kids, they just wander around and have fun on the grounds. It's perfect. It's become more and more a place of learning, joy, outside in nature, because every October we have a Sunday afternoon, and it's called Nature Rocks. And we have more than 1,000 people coming through. Unfortunately, it's been canceled the last 2 years because of weather, but everybody comes, they learn. Ruth Patrick Center, organizations, bluebirds, beekeepers, face painting, rocks, you get the idea. It is getting people outdoors without their technical stuff. No pads, no phones. The biggest thing, though, started in 2023 with a grant from the Island Foundation, is HOPE, Hopeland's Outdoor Premier Education. And we now collaborate with the University of South Carolina at Aiken with the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center. It's unfortunate, Dr. Gary Sin, the director, he's going to be here on Monday. He's not here tonight. So I will try to explain to you what this is about. It is for public schools, church schools, home schools. We have it fall and spring, at least 3 classes at least 6 to 9 schools each time. 60 to 100 children come for the morning, 3 hours, and they learn outdoors. It is engaged, exciting learning. They are not sitting at a desk having to raise their hand. They are inundated with STEM, nature, ecology, environment, all of that. They learn to become, we hope, it's a first step possibly, to be good stewards of nature, of our world. We need that more than ever. So Hopelands and Rye Patch have become wonderful tools for the city of Aiken and a wonderful partner with the city, with the citizens of Aiken and with visitors. It is important. It is fabulous. I'll turn it over to Michael now.
Okay, thank you so much, Holly. Okay,
I'll get out of your way.
not a problem. You're never in the way. So this last year has been a year of signs and fences. And I say that because Hurricane Helene, when she was here, she destroyed a lot of things. We lost, I believe, 17 trees on Hopelands and Rye Patch. Some of those trees fell on walls. Some of those trees fell on fences. Some of them took down other trees, and as a result, we were able to do some things that we have been thinking about for a long time with the city and planning for. And so you see, whoop, I went too, well, I've messed it up already. Okay, here we go. So this is the new entrance sign into Hopelands Gardens, and this was donated by Bob and Beth Newbern, and they, of course, are sitting right back here. This is but it wouldn't exist without the city because you folks did all the contracting. You supervised all the work. You got the utilities relocated underground. You did all of those things that made that happen. So this is, while we all really appreciate Beth and Bob, this is really a community project. And so thank y'all for that. This is our deer fencing. We love deer, but we do not particularly care for them eating the plants in Hopelands and Rye Patch. And so Helene took down a lot of trees that are right in the line where this new fencing is. That wasn't a part of the plan. In fact, originally we were talking about how we would do it without disturbing the tree line, but once it was gone, it became clear that this was going to be an avenue for deer to, it would be a superhighway for them. And so the city has gone in and put in this fencing there, and this is just a portion of it, but it extends along the full back of Rye Patch and ties into some existing fence lines that go on for Hopeland. But it does close off the avenue where the deer have been coming in. We hope it will be an effective deterrent. We think it will be. I keep hitting the wrong button. All right. When I say signs, I'm talking about replacing signs like the one on the left, which has been there for decades, and it looks like it's been there for decades. And we've worked with Parks and Recreation to come up with a new design sign, and you can see it on the right. And this is what that sign looks like a little closer. If you look at the very top of it, you can see some of the ornamentation that's there. That mirrors the gates going into both Hopelands and Rye Patch. And so we tried to pick up on the design details and make the signs very distinctive and very much in keeping. And so that's been a success. We have also been able to get the Historical Society to approve 2 historic markers, one for Rye Patch, one for Hopelands, and those are ready. They have been approved. We have them in hand, and we're looking forward to getting them installed in the very near future. We also have been working with Parks and Recreation on interior signs. Hopelands is large enough, 24 acres, that finding your way around and finding the things that you're looking for, a map's good, but way signs are even better. And so the city has helped us with that, and we're looking forward to getting those installed later this year as well. We do have some problems. One of the things that Helene did not help us with is the erosion issues. And these are some of the pictures of what the lower lake in front of the Wyndham stage looks like. And you can see the wooden barricades there on the right that were the boundary. Some of those have, all of them are very, very much deteriorated. And you can see that has really been exacerbated by all of the rain during Helene. You can see here where the erosion on that bank has taken place. And there are two concerns there. One is the erosion. The other is the safety of people that are doing maintenance work. That's a steep enough hillside that mowers and things like that, especially if the grass is wet, they can slide into the lake. And that's something that needs to be addressed. What this shot shows you is where some of that erosion, especially on the lower lake, if you look carefully at that right-hand photo, you can see that the water had begun to get very close to that walkway to the point where it was actually going to undermine that walkway, and then that is on top of a dam that is what holds that lower lake in position. The city went in and made temporary repairs, and they did that with the stones that are there. But as you can see, that's not as in keeping with the design and the appearance that we're looking for Hopelands. And so one of the asks that we have for you guys is that there is CPT 5 funding allocated for erosion control, specifically in Hopelands. This is where it really, really needs to be spent. And we would ask your consideration as you have CPST 5 funds available that this would be a high priority to get moved quickly. The urgency there is because right where those stones are is also where the turtles congregate on their little platform. And that is a highlighted place for young kids. And young kids being what they are, they will get on those rocks. And we would prefer not to have anyone get hurt while they're viewing the turtles. And so, again, that's the reason that we're asking that this be a high priority. Second priority for us is Patsy's Garden. This is named in honor of one of the surviving members of the Goodyear family. It was originally a rose garden, and when it was first put in, we had a rosarian who took care of it. But unfortunately, the kind of care that's necessary to keep roses looking good all year is more than really can be done. And so the garden now, and especially if you look at the lower picture on the left, you'll see the hedges and things, the Yopon holly, they've kind of crept in and made that into very, very narrow walkways. And so one of the things that we want to do is open that up. You can't walk side by side with another person in that garden now, nor is it really easy for people to get through it in a wheelchair. So this is the conceptual design. The Friends have commissioned a local landscape architect to come up with a design, much larger walkways, a more open format, and it's designed to have perennials in it that will not require near the amount of care that has been in the past. And so this is kind of the color palette, the kind of textures that we're looking for to achieve in Patsy's Garden. And we've reached out to the family members and getting their input and feedback on this as well. But we want to work with the city to make this happen. And I think the best way for us to collaborate is the city is extremely good at doing infrastructure. And we think the infrastructure piece of this, the hardscape, getting the irrigation system in place, et cetera, that's something that the city could do. We think, as Friends, that we would like to pay attention to the aesthetic part We would like to pay for the plants and the planting, and we want to talk to the city about how to do the maintenance for it, because we need to have a long-term plan, because we don't want to see this garden fall back into the condition that the existing garden is in now. So this is a second ask from us, is we'd like your endorsement and for the city to work with us and finalize these plans and get ready to move forward with that. I did it again. Okay. So what's our track record been for since 2024? Well, we've had a lot of things on our list, and many of these are in progress or almost complete now. If you look at, and here's some of the things that Holly was able to add in. Don't you think that I'm capable of technically doing something like that? But my point is that we have done a lot of repairs there. We have gotten a lot of things done, but we still have many things left to be done. And so the erosion on the lower lake, that's a major ask. The repairs to the serpentine wall. We think this wall is original, but in the areas where Helene damaged it, we have repaired it. The city has repaired it, I should say. But the whole wall needs to be repointed and the mortar reestablished in it. And so this is a major thing for the future. That is also included in CPST-5 funding. So it is money that the city will have access to. It's just a matter of when it's available. The second is we want to continue to improve the aesthetics. The bird and butterfly garden, Patsy's garden, daffodils, and here's where Holly gets real kudos. She has purchased over almost 2,000 daffodils. The friends have paid for them, but Holly went and got them and brought them in, and Aaron and his crew have planted them. And so there's going to be spring color in Hopelands, more this year than last year, but this is something we want to continue to do in the future as well. And finally, long-term out, the Roland Wyndham stage is something that we really need to think about and reimagine how it could be better. I have a memory of July the 4th and the concert that took place there. And if you'll remember, we always have the Marine Corps band do that concert. And the weather was great until the last two songs were being played and the bottom fell out. Now, if you know the Marine Corps band, the last song they play is always the Marine Corps hymn. And every Marine Corps veteran that's there stands up during that song. It was pouring rain the entire time they were doing it, and nobody missed a beat. Everybody did what they were supposed to, but it kind of reemphasized that we need to think a little bit more about how that stage could be better suited, because people turn out for those concerts, and it is every kind of music that you could possibly imagine. It's there. And so, in closing, I want to thank you guys, because your city, your people, when Helene came through, all the roads were closed just about in downtown Aiken. And the city had an incredible task ahead of it. But between when it hit in October and Christmas time, the city had everything open for Hopelands. Christmas in Hopelands happened. And it wouldn't have happened without these people over here. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cowan and Dr. Waltz. We appreciate that. The second presentation is the quarterly progress report on the water treatment plant construction. Will the representatives from Harper please come forward? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Jared McMullen. I'm the Senior Project Manager for Harper General Contractors. And as we do every quarter, I'm going to give you an update on the Shaw's Creek Water Treatment Plant that we're building right off Gun Range Road. So we're going to go through the quarterly and annual progress now that we've been out there for over a year. Key accomplishments that we've had this past quarter. Some upcoming milestones, and then show you some progress photos of what's been going on. And then quickly glance at the schedule. So the last quarter from October to January, you can see there's been a lot of work that's happened. 2 buildings are coming out of the ground there. That's the administrative building for the water treatment plant and the chemical building. And then a lot of work internal to the treatment structure, which is the main large concrete structure you see in the middle of the screen. I think this paints a pretty good picture, but the next picture really tells a lot about what's happened in the past year. So in 1 year's time, you can see on the left, this was January 25 versus January 26. A lot of work has gone into place. Some kind of numbers or facts, I guess you'd say. So in this time frame, we've had over, including trade partners, over 80,000 man hours that have worked out here. We've poured over 4,500 yards of concrete, and we've got over 500 tons of steel currently, a lot of that being in rebar, and we still have 3 other pre-engineered metal buildings that needs to go up. So just some fun facts, if you will, for the past year. So this is the treatment trains. This is the main treatment process. It's where most of the work has been put in, and like I've said before, a lot of the work is underground that you can't see, with pipes that go, larger pipes that go under the ground and the foundations for the structure. So some key accomplishments for the past quarter. The admin and chemical building, as you can see, have come out of the ground. I'll show you a video here in a second. It's pretty neat. It shows the work that's been done around the treatment structure in the admin building. We've got the tank farm coating completed. That's your bulk storage tanks. You can see the white, the white tanks on the bottom left of that picture there. They're going to be placed in. They were actually moving them today. The preparation for the storage buildings at the utility building. The bulk chem storage tanks, they're delivered, as I said. And then the elevated deck poured for the intake pump station, which we'll have a photo here in a second showing that. So upcoming milestones, we've got utility slab pour, the utility storage, the electrical slab pour. We're setting the pumps at the intake, your raw water intake across Highway 1, and then the bulk chem equipment and piping. All right, hopefully this will play. This is a video showing what we're doing there with this crane. So that's Harper's guys actually setting. They're placing a settling plate, which is the kind of the middle of the treatment structure. So that work's going on. On the other side, you'll see there's a pump truck pumping concrete in the second floor of the administrative building. That's your chemical building there that'll house all of your chemical day tanks and then all of your metering pumps. And the electrician's also digging a duct bank from that chemical building over to the electrical room. The main electrical building is right behind that pump truck where that concrete truck is. So the raw water pump station, this pump station, about 90% of the concrete's been poured. There's a small slab that's poured after we backfill the pump station. This station is about 15 foot in the ground, so we had to utilize some sheeting for shoring around that area. A lot of water in that area. Obviously, we're on the side of the creek, so you can kind of see the hoses around the excavation, which is for dewatering purposes so that we can actually get men in there to build that structure. So we are really close to getting a leak test on that and pulling those sheets and backfilling that structure. The structure to your right is your existing raw water station. And the utility building, you can see there's 2 slabs that are prepped. One's actually already poured. Those are 2 storage buildings that'll be used. The other one will be poured here in the next couple of weeks, pending the weather we got. But that building, obviously the roof's on, windows are in. We've got sheetrock in. There's controlled air currently in there with some temporary HVAC systems. So a lot's going on there. So schedule, 791 days. We've had 9 weather days, but to date we haven't, contractually put any additional days because we're still on schedule. We're tracking really well for that February 8th completion. And again, it's, our goal at Harper to get y'all flowing water by the end of the year. And with that said, I've talked about it before, a large startup that needs to happen towards this last quarter of this year. But that structure there, that's the main process. So you've got mixers, settling plates, vacuum system for the sludge, and then your filters for the water at the end. Any questions?
You said, excuse me, the intake is across the road, if I remember correctly.
Yes, ma'am. It is.
And that part is all done, or are you still?
It's still ongoing.
Okay.
So we've actually done the work that's in. We've dredged Shaw's Creek, and we reinforced some of the dam that was there currently, and then the treatment structure, as you saw, it's probably the concrete's 90% complete, and we're going to set the pumps next and start building it out of the ground. We also have to build an electrical room or building on that side of the road as well that'll replace basically all the electrical for that pump station that's currently there. So,
And we're still on for our target date in February,
we are,
right?
yes, ma'am.
That's great. That's good to hear.
Despite the weather, you've been able to stay on schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
That's remarkable.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we will approve a resolution authorizing the City of Aiken to enter into a settlement agreement and release regarding the settlement of the Blake et al. Versus the City of Aiken lawsuit. Mr. Daniel Plyler, would you please explain this item to council and the public?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So just to be clear on a few points, the City Council mediated this case on January 14th of this year in an open session, an executive session that was all properly noticed. At the conclusion of that mediation, a vote was taken agreeing to the terms of the settlement. So this is not a resolution asking y'all to vote on the terms of the settlement. This is essentially a resolution to finalize some of the legal documents and provide authority to have the city manager execute those documents so that what you voted on the 14th can be effectuated. Primarily, the resolution will allow the city manager to sign the settlement agreement and release, so the legal documents that effectuate the settlement on behalf of the city and the AMDC. And as you may recall, the AMDC is defunct. But the process of going through that, the city took control of the AMDC, so the appropriate authority to sign on their behalf at this point, we believe, would be the city manager. And it also authorizes the payment that was agreed to in the mediated settlement of a portion of the attorney's fees and expenses that were being claimed in the lawsuit. The document would also allow the dismissal of the pending lawsuit and all associated appeals.
I'm sorry, do I have a motion, please, to approve the settlement agreement and release?
With pleasure.
Thank you. Councilwoman Diggs made the
I'll
motion.
second, Madam Mayor.
Second from Councilwoman Broll. Thank you so much. Are there any comments from the public? Comments from council?
Mayor, the board appointee, and this may be out of order, but I'm going to make the comment. The board appointee of the AMDC board had some high-profile, highly talented people serving. And I don't know that we've adequately said thank you to that board who gave up their time and their service. And this is the outcome that we are faced with now. So I want to say to the AMDC board, thank you for giving your time and your service.
Thank you so much. Any other comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. We will move on to now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. Kurt Johnson, 114 Brewster Way, Aiken, pastor, Lost Sheep Ministry. Yesterday was the first day of our point in time count, which is where we go out and try to identify our unsheltered people or not housed people. That could mean they're living on somebody's couch or in other places. The reason we do this is the government needs a count for HUD to move the resources back into our community. And that's not to us, that could be into Aurora or Aiken Barnwell Mental Health. These organizations that help us, our people. We have already gotten around between 30 and 40 people that we've counted just last night. So if anybody tells you that we don't have people unsheltered, yeah, they're not telling the truth. And we got cold weather coming this week. We are going to be looking for tents, sleeping bags, hand warmers, gloves, anything that we can use to keep them from freezing. We've already had at least 3 freezing deaths in this month. That's not right. It's just not right. Another thing that I wanted to bring to attention is what we call MREs. Anybody that's been in the military probably knows what an MRE is. This is a meal ready to eat. It's self-contained. It's all you do is add water, and it makes a pretty good meal. They're a lot better than when I was in. But the average cost is $3.33 for that, and that'll provide enough food for them for the day. So it helps out in both. Well, there's 3 different ways that I look at it. It's highly nutritious. It cuts down on the trash because it's all contained. So they can put all that trash. So we're not having these places look like trash. And it's easy to walk with. They're not carrying bags of food. So that's what we got. I did pretty good, only 2 minutes, 18 seconds today.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Kurt, I want to thank you and your team. I saw you on television last night, some of the people from Eyes on Aiken and yourself. I saw Teresa and I saw Susan. I think I saw Cassandra. Were you out there? No?
Oh, we were out there.
But you were out in the woods
Right.
identifying homeless people for the count
Yep.
and seeing what you could do to help them. And all I thought about was how cold it was. It was frigid. And all of you were out there, and Teresa, your comments were very good. But thank y'all for what you do. One of the persons that passed away recently, Loretta, was someone who I've known for a long time.
Probably his whole life, right?
Right. And she would usually sit on the corner of the business by York Street and Hampton
Right.
all night. And I got word yesterday that she had passed. I would stop, give her money, give her food. But that just hurt my heart.
It
I
should.
think they said she got really, really cold that night, and she walked down to a friend's house to get some blankets. And while she was there, she went into distress. and on the way to the hospital, she passed on. But I know y'all tried to help her too. I talk to her all the time. So just thank y'all for being out there in the trenches
Well,
and trying to put people in housing and make sure they're fed and make sure they're warm. I
One of
know
the
there are a
big
lot of places they can't go.
yes, ma'am. One of the big things that we are seeing is that the community is starting to come around. We're not here to give these people a handout. We are definitely not about that.
Right.
If they don't want help, then we're going to kind of walk away from them until they're ready.
Right.
'Cause you can't keep on doing it. Now, if they become a nuisance, we're going to call
Right.
Department of Public Safety and have them taken. Okay, but there are other ways. We can get them to the hospital. We can get them to Aurora. And if we get that, then we're starting to make a difference. We just took a gentleman from the hospital where he was near death from pneumonia from sleeping outside. We got him into a assisted living home over in Augusta. But that's the kind of things that we're doing. We're setting up networks that help the community. So that's all I got. Now I went over my
Thank
3
you.
minutes.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Kurt.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Lex? Good evening, Lex.
Good evening. Lex Perry, 1526 South Boundary Avenue Southeast, pastor C4 Impact Ministries. Just to add on to what Kurt was saying, as you all know, you saw how we were going out, and there's been a lot of attention that's been brought to it at this point because of the winter weather and so forth. But this isn't just the only season that this is going on. This is all year round. You know, we've been talking about this all year round. It's more critical now because we're afraid of people dying on the streets, but that does happen during the spring, during the summer, during the winter as well. We want to get more housing. We do see some rhetoric sometimes on social media and things like that, and people say, well, what are the churches doing and so forth? I got news for you. The churches are doing a lot. And one of the things we're seeing is those silos coming down, and the churches are communicating. We're talking together. We're getting direct referrals from the churches. Why? Because we want the circuit to stop. We don't want to enable people to be out in the street. We want to get to the root of what's causing the problem, and then to move them into a situation where we're saying, hey, here's the resources that are there. So we're strategically aiming those resources that we have to the right place so that we get people off the street. That's the purpose. But for those who don't think the churches are doing anything, check your church out and see what you're doing at your church, because the churches here in Aiken are doing a lot, and we are all coming together to work together along with the city council. What you're doing, you're getting involved. I'm so thankful that you're coming to visit and you're seeing firsthand what we're doing, and your continued support. Before I run out of time, I also want to put the bug in your ear because I'm always forward thinking. The spring and summer has come along. You've seen some of the footage where all the trash in there and so forth. We talked about this a little bit last year about C4 Impact Clean Team. I want to get that back on the radar again because we want to get the folks that we're helping, teaching some job skills, having them go out to do some light duty cleanup in these areas and get it cleaned up to beautify our city. We do take the time to educate them on what, when there's damage being done to trash and so forth, encourage them to pick it up before we give out new things. But I want the businesses to know, and everybody here in the community, we're not, again, as Kurt said, we're not giving handouts. We're not giving handouts to anybody. We want to give them a hand up. We want them to know that they are part of this community. We love them. We see them. We value them. We know that they have a lot to contribute to the city as well, but we want to give them an opportunity to get involved. Some that don't, we can't do anything with that, but the vast majority of the people do want this kind of help. They do want a hand up, and they do want to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. What we're doing now and what we're starting to see is that change is happening. Continue to support, continue to do those things. And yes, we are looking for more housing. Lord knows we need that. And if there is anybody who has a building that they say, hey, you know what? I don't know what to do with it. Let us have it. Let us refurbish the building. Let us manage it. I'm not saying you just have to give it to us right out, but I promise you, we will manage it the right way. You're going to see your value of their property go up. If you don't believe me, come and check out what we're doing now. The value is going to stay there. It's going to improve. Just give us the opportunity to work with you. I promise you, it will be a great investment. Thank you.
Sorry. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, council members, mayor, people in the audience. I'm Roy A. Pemberton Jr. I'm from 405 Hampton Avenue Northwest. And recently, we've just had a issue with rats on our property. Never seen any rats in the years I've been here. Definitely something new. And so we call a pest control professional to come out and check it out, check the yard, figure out what's going on. And it came to the knowledge of both of us that we have a cat colony just down the road, about 100, maybe 125 feet down the street. Now, he said if there's open feeding there, open watering, then you could have a problem with rats showing up and also then, trying to come in and get free food. And those colonies tend to really populate rats on a high level. One of the issues that I've come to know with some of these in my previous work with Fish and Wildlife is that it's not one of the things that's really mandated on a Fish and Wildlife level or on the APHIS level for Department of Agriculture. Part of it is because of what the colonies do in terms of their interaction with other wildlife. And although they're trying to be released and habituated in their environment like wildlife or similar to wildlife, one of the tenets is that you don't feed wild animals. So there's an inconsistency with that. Also, the issue with rats and how they can, propagate and get much larger populations is also another issue in that they could also spread to some of the other community members. I know a couple of my neighbors also have problems with rats as well. The other thing with the cats is that although they're there and they're being fed and watered, they still tend to hunt. However, they don't tend to hunt large rats or rats, period. They go after mice, bunny rabbits, squirrels if they can get up the tree and get them. But really, rats are not necessarily on their menu. So it's something that then is a kind of like an inconsistency in thinking that the rats and the cats will have it out and things will go the way for us, but that's not happening. So the other thing I'm concerned about also is that because on the federal level, these things are not looked upon, favorably, I was just wondering if there's any communication between the council and federal partners that deal with these things, or even with other agencies like Animal and Wildlife Control, or anything to kind of address these problems, because the colonies can actually be a problem for us if they're not regulated in terms of checking on the vaccination of these animals. You can get cat scratch fever and so forth, and that's detrimental, particularly for humans, particularly for children. So those are some of my concerns, and I just wanted to make that aware to some of the members of the public and to some of my other neighbors here. Thank you for your time.
Madam Mayor, no, Ray, don't leave, please. Madam Mayor, Roscoe, I want to thank you for your information that you shared, which is how I managed to meet Ray. And Ray, there were some things that Roscoe had shared as far as our children and being in that environment. And it appears that you've got quite a wealth of information to share.
My previous work has been in Fish and Wildlife. I'm the former director for Fish and Wildlife for the state and territory of the U.S. Virgin Islands, and we have the same issue there. It's not just Aiken. This is a problem across the country and also in all U.S. territories. And one of the issues that we have is that most of these are close to areas where you have children, playgrounds, community centers, and so forth, thinking that that's going to be a great thing. However, not all cats are nice cats, and not all cats are bad cats. I'm not anti-cat or anything like that, but children, being children, want to play with cats. Sometimes when they see them, sometimes they don't. So you have that problem where they can inadvertently scratch a child or something like that, and if their claws are not cleaned, then you could have that potential for cat scratch. The problem with that in many cases is just that there's not enough communication between the community who are responsible for the colonies and or the general public to understand what are the pros and cons and why they should or shouldn't be in certain areas. So that's my take on it. We have come up with ingenious ways to deal with it. We've had adoption programs from the Virgin Islands, and we use American Airlines, and they're willing to ship out any cat, dog, and they go to different families, so they go directly to a new foster home or a new home as a new pet for an owner. We have people that fly down, preferentially during the winter months, of course, to pick up animals, and they take them back to the States for homes, for forever homes. So there are different avenues that you can do to kind of take care of that.
Well, we've had a few concerns in the district that I represent, and we have several areas in that district present in the room, and Susan has been generous enough in the audience to talk with the pastor at Almond Branch, which is where the Tool Hill Neighborhood Association meets, and we have heard some concerns about cats being in the neighborhood, and it's created a problem. So at some point in time, I'd like to have you to share the pros and cons of cats and how we can help to reduce those
Okay.
kinds of concerns.
And I'd like to thank Mr. Epps because I didn't really know what the process, what the procedure was to address the council. So he basically gave me that information and the scheduling. So
We thank you for sharing that information,
If I
Roscoe.
may, with that, the SPCA has a program in which they trap cats and they will spay and neuter them and then put them back out in the area which they say they're from. So that's a concern as well, to where not only are they bringing those cats back, but then the cats that aren't spayed or neutered are still multiplying. So we're actually renovating a house in that area, and a certain time throughout that day, you actually see cats from blocks away migrate to that one general area just for food. And it's technically Pendleton Street, Pendleton Street, and it's right across from the Second Baptist Preparatory School. And just like he was saying,
Where the kids are.
dangers of cat scratch, to those children that are on that playground, in combination with, like urine and feces that they might be defecating on the playground and getting those kids sick. So just having that large population of cats mixed with rats, and then what we noted also is the amount of vultures in the area. So, something has to give with cleaning that area up and maybe reducing that cat population itself. Reducing that lady who feeds them. I know it's a good thing, to try to feed the animals, but it's bringing about some issues that we really don't need and you generally don't see, in combination with each other.
yeah, and I may add that again, those trophic interactions, with different tiers, all the way from squirrels all the way up to hawks. The hawks are also there to feed on the cats, and I'm pretty sure that's not what they want. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to see those animals go out that way, but that's a definite problem as well. And those interactions also cause other zoonotic diseases to then spread, not just from the cats, but also back from the animal, from the wildlife out there to cats, and then possibly to people. So that's the issue right there.
And,
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've seen the photos for the rat issue. These are some large size rats that I feel like need to be addressed because, as we talked about earlier, they're eventually going to grow and populate at a rapid pace, but we won't be able to get control of it if we don't take action.
You have
sooner
two
rather than
here
later.
in Aiken. You have the Norwegian, which is about the size of a brick body-wise, and then it has a tail that's a body length and a half longer than its body. And then you also have the tunneling rat. So they can tunnel, they can basically, go into underground sections of your home, like tunnel underneath the skirts or the aprons for the home. And that's how the pest control agent was telling me that's probably how they're coming, because if they come up the sewage lines or water lines, they can follow that and tunnel that to wherever house that leads to. So that's part of the issue. I don't have too much experience with tunneling rats. I mostly dealt with Norwegian and black rats, which is a European variety. So tunneling rat, that's a new thing for me, because we have all the crawl spaces locked off. I couldn't figure out how they were getting underneath the house until he told me, oh, you got tunneling rats here too. So I was like, wow, okay. That was new.
Well, thank you for bringing that information.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
Great
Thank you.
information.
Anyone else would like to make some comments? Okay, thank you. Now we will move to approval of the consent agenda. Mr. Beedenbow, will you please read the titles of the items?
Thank you. We have the following consent agenda items. We have an ordinance to annex property at 215 Silver Bluff Road and to zone the same limited business LB. An ordinance to annex property located at 447 East Pine Log Road and to zone the same residential single-family RS10. And an ordinance to annex property located at 215 East Pine Log Road and to zone the same residential single-family RS10. And those are the consent agenda items. We received no notifications either electronically or by paper slip submitted to the city clerk by the deadline, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion, please? Councilwoman,
Move for adoption. Madam
Councilwoman
Mayor.
Price made the motion.
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Broll second the motion. Since the consent agenda does not have comment, we will go straight to the vote. So please, all those in favor? Thank you. It is unanimous. We now have approval and discussion of appointees to various city boards, committees, and commissions. Mr. Beaver.
Thank you. You have the following appointments for consideration. The appointment of Sharon Mara to the Energy and Environmental Committee, Deborah Hart to the Design Review Board, Thomas Glover to the Board of Zoning Appeals, Chaz Mealer to the Energy and Environmental Committee, Vivian Dix to the Senior Commission, Josh Boland to the Recreation Commission. Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Could I get a motion to accept these nominations?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion. And
I'll second, Madam Mayor.
second, Councilwoman Morgan, second the motion, and comments from the public. Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Do we have any nominations to consider at our next meeting?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to reappoint Amy Hanna to the Senior Commission, and also Sarah Wildazen to the Equine Committee. Excuse me. Yes, Sarah Wildazen.
Okay.
Whatever. What is it?
Wilderson.
Wilderson. Okay, thank you. Is that hard?
Yes,
Madam Mayor, I'd like to appoint Barry Bornstein to the term from January 28, 26 to January 28, 2028. That's from the position that Jack Wetzel resigned. I'd also like to reappoint Susan Trotter to the Equine Committee for the upcoming term, same term that the one I just talked to Mr. Bornstein about.
Thank you. I guess that's everyone. The next item under old business is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to amend the 2025-2026 budget.
Thank you. It's an ordinance amending the budget for the city of Aiken for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, ending June 30, 2026 for the general fund and water and sewer utilities fund. Several items, budget adjustment for using system depreciation funds to replace the Hidden Haven well, and for increased chemical and lab costs. And the CMO is requesting, when we carried forward funds in September, we neglected to include the continuing or carry forward of monies for updated agenda software. And that is, council approved this at first reading, is before you at second reading this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to move? Oh, Councilwoman Broll made the motion. Second from Councilwoman Diggs. Any comments from the public? Comments from council?
I know that Miss Sarah will be glad to get that new software for our agenda, because I know she's had to deal with uncooperative material.
All those in favor? Thank you. The final item under old business is second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to rezone 7.23 acres on Rudy Mason Parkway and Wire Road from residential single family RS10 to plan residential PR and approve a concept plan. Mr. Biedenbill.
Thank you. That is the title of the ordinance. Essentially, this is a project of approximately 7.25 acres. The proposal would be to build up to 86 units of multifamily with 136 parking spaces and 4 apartment buildings with a waiver to the required minimum recreation space. The thing to point out is during first reading, we had much discussion about parking requirements for this project, so no amendments to any conditions were made, so the 136 spaces carried forward based on a majority vote after a appropriate motion and second. So if the council wishes to revisit the item about parking requirements as a condition, council would need to address that through a motion and a second and appropriate discussion, or council can, if they choose, vote on this up or down as written and passed at first reading. Or certainly council has every option to continue it. But I did want to make that point because we had quite a bit of discussion about the number of spaces that are required, and there was no action made beyond just talking about it. So the conditions that were read into the record at first reading still apply. So that is before council for second and final reading this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance?
I just have a question, before I make a motion. I think Karen Daly is here and another representative from that project. Can you come forward, please? And I know Mr. Bloom couldn't be here tonight. I spoke with him by telephone.
Thank you.
And
Burton Fine, 815 Stanton Drive, Cranston Engineering Group. I believe what we proposed at the last meeting was to adhere to the most restrictive parking that was presented by Councilman Messina from based on his research, which was 1.5 spaces per 1-bedroom unit, 2 spaces per 2-bedroom unit, and 2.5 spaces per 3-bedroom unit.
and that still stands.
We are willing to comply with that requirement.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I wanted to ask Ms. Moultrie, from your perspective, when they come to the planning department with their plans for approval to get started, would you need any language to be changed in order to approve what he's saying he will do, or are you able to do that without having anything changed in the ordinance?
We actually do need to have a condition added to the ordinance,
Okay.
simply because it's over and above what our zoning ordinance requires.
Okay. All right. And so, for purposes of, is council, is that what council wants to do?
Yes.
Okay. So for purposes of adding a condition, that condition should read how?
We could just simply say that once they submit, since they don't actually know how many bedrooms will be submitted,
Yep.
we will just base it upon the 1.5 per 1-bedroom, 2 for 2-bedroom, and 2.5 for 3 bedrooms.
1.5 per 1-bedroom?
Correct. 2 parking spaces per 2-bedroom, and then 2.5 per 3-bedroom.
So that would be a sixth condition added to the ordinance. It would be condition number 6, I would imagine.
Yep.
And thank you for being willing to do that. I thought we had agreed to it last time.
I did too.
There was, but it was never made in the form of a motion and added formally to the ordinance.
So if Councilmember Diggs is going to make the motion to approve the ordinance, my recommendation would be that she move to adopt the ordinance as written with the addition of condition number 6 that says there will be 1.5 parking places per 1-bedroom unit, 2 parking spaces per 2-bedroom unit, and 2.5 parking spaces per 3-bedroom unit.
That's my motion.
Thank you.
I second it.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Do I have a second for that?
Councilwoman Morgan.
Oh, sorry. Oh, thank you. Missed that. Councilwoman Morgan, second the motion.
Just make it easy.
Any comments from the public? Thank you for coming up to the microphone.
I echo Councilwoman Barbara Morgan's comments in terms of thanking you all for making that adjustment to the request.
Any other remarks from us? All those in favor? Thank you. We now move to new business. We have 8 items to cover this evening. First item is first reading of an ordinance to amend the concept plan for the Junction Shopping Center located on Whiskey Road. Mr. Beedenbaugh.
Thank you. It is an ordinance amending the concept plan for property located on Whiskey Road, known as the Junction Shopping Center. This is for a proposed state-federal credit union, so it necessitates a revision to the concept plan that was initially approved in 2022. It would be located in one building on approximately 1.63 acre out parcel adjacent to Whiskey Road frontage between the shopping center entrance drive and the adjacent fuel station. Since this is in the PC zone, this requires a concept plan review. It would be a building approximately 2,933 square feet with 3 drive-through service bays and an office. An exterior architecture would be brick veneer, cast stone, concrete masonry veneer, and architectural shingles. With the approval of the PC zoning in 2022, a condition was included that the outparcel developments be considered by City Council and that zero lot line design would be considered at that time. This proposed outparcel development does not indicate zero lot line placement on the submitted site plan, and no ordinance waivers have been requested. There are 24 proposed parking spaces, including 2 ADA spaces, 3 entrances to the development, and interior access from the shopping center, cross-access easement from the gas station to the south, and another access from the shopping center entrance drive off of Whiskey Road. The concept plan denotes a pervious area equivalent to approximately 55% of the site. A traffic study was submitted to DOT and the city's traffic consultant for the entire proposed development in 2022. Improvements are currently being made to Whiskey Road and Powder House Road as part of a traffic study. That's a joint venture between the South Carolina Department of Transportation and the city. The trip generation information provided by the applicant for this request indicates there will be no appreciable changes to the approved traffic study. It does need to comply with our tree development, tree preservation, and landscape requirements of our zoning ordinance. The overall landscape plan identified several significant trees be preserved, but many of the trees will be removed by the proposed development. There will be a freestanding sign, one single sign, restricted to a ground-mounted monument sign no more than 75 square feet and 18 feet tall. Most signs in the Whiskey Road overlay are hybrid pole monument style. It is noted that the colors and the massing of the freestanding sign are consistent with those found on incorporated properties along Whiskey Road, and that the signage on Outparcel 1 was recently restricted to a maximum height of 11 feet and a maximum area of 50 square feet. The Planning Commission reviewed the request to amend the concept plan and unanimously recommended to council this request with the following conditions. 1, the development complies with the tree preservation ordinance and landscape requirements of the zoning ordinance. 2, the commercial signage massing be restricted to a maximum height of 11 feet and a maximum area of 50 square feet and subject to the review and approval of the planning director. 3, the applicant submits a revised concept plan listing the conditions of approval. 4, the applicant submits a revised traffic study reflecting the current traffic counts of the broader development. 5, the cross-access easement connection be established as indicated on the submitted site plan. 6, the applicant signs an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. This is before you for first reading and public hearing this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt this request upon the first reading. And just want to acknowledge that the President and CEO, Jim Kynert, from Columbia, South Carolina, of the Credit Union, State Credit Union, is here. Thank you for being present.
Thank you. Councilwoman Price made the motion. Second,
I second.
from Councilwoman Diggs. Are there any comments from the public? Any comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's passed. On to the next, which is new business of first reading of an ordinance to amend the concept plan for Coffee Talk 7 LLC, located at 2235 Whiskey Road. Mr. Beedenbauer.
Thank you. It is titled an ordinance amending the concept plan for property located at 2235 Whiskey Road. The applicant is requesting a review of the proposed graphics change on the storage cooler unit, which is located in front of the drive-through restaurant at the location. The approved cooler image, which was approved on January 27th, 2025, depicted directional arrow graphics to guide cars to the drive-through lanes. The applicant is requesting allowance of the applicant is requesting allowance of graphic variations on the cooler unit. It was brought to the applicant's attention by city staff that the wrap on the exterior cooler is considered a sign by our ordinance and not a variance, but it just needs approval, and it is required for the cooler wrap to remain. This wrap style is a new addition to the 7 Brew branding to highlight the city in which the store is located and create a positive attitude of the customers when waiting in the drive-through lanes. The Planning Commission heard this at the January 13th meeting and voted unanimously to recommend that the requested amendment to the concept plan be approved. And this is before you at first reading this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Question.
May I have a motion to
I have to have a motion first.
amend the concept plan?
I so move.
Councilwoman Brohl made the motion in a second.
A second, and then we'll talk.
Second.
Councilwoman Diggs, second.
Okay.
Thank you. Any comments from the,
I second.
You second. He's,
sorry, Council, I missed that. Thank you. Councilman Waldo, second motion.
Now go.
Comments from the public? Comments from the council? I would like to say that I would be so happy if they would make, they were supposed to have larger bushes out front.
Actually, council did allow them to have the shorter shrubberies, yeah.
Mistake.
So they're just, I'm sorry. Y'all ready for the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So they're just changing the name from 7 Brew to Coffee Talk?
No, it's actually just the mural that they had in the first, when they first submitted
Right.
the request was actually just arrows. That was what was shown in their agenda packet. And so instead, they put this on there. We're like, well, that was not what was approved originally. So we did ask them to come back and revise their concept plan.
And Madam Mayor, if I may, Ms. Moultrie, and this is just a wrap that goes on the outside, is that correct? And it, if I remember from Planning Commission, it just had sort of like the insignia of the company, so it's not any, it's not
Right.
like a, even though it comes under a banner or a flag, it's not a banner or a flag.
No, we actually treat it more like a mural.
Right.
I think it has a very, very slight watermark,
Yes.
but that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions from council? All those in favor? Okay, it's passed. Unanimous. Now we have first reading of an ordinance to rezone Aiken County Board of Education property at 232 and 274 East Pine Log Road to plan institutional and approve a concept plan, Mr. Beaton.
Thank you. It is an ordinance amending the zoning of real estate owned by the Aiken County Board of Education from residential single-family RS10 to PI, planned institutional, and approve a concept plan. The applicant is requesting the rezoning of this property and approval of a concept plan for campus improvements, including an additional 103,780 square feet of building space, parking, and driveway circulation changes. Other site improvements include an athletic field and detention ponds. The property consists of approximately 65 1/10 acres and is the location of Minnie B. Kennedy Middle School and South Aiken High School. The proposed improvements are additions to the high school. Since this is in a PI zone, a concept plan must be reviewed by the Planning Commission and approved by council. This zone provides locations for schools, churches, and some other institutional uses in locations which may affect residential or other more restrictive zones or less intense uses. The district requires a concept plan approved by City Council after Planning Commission review to address site layout, building design, tree protection and buffers, and other issues to assure compatibility with surrounding uses. This concept plan does appear to address natural features and drainage patterns, roadway access, and surrounding land uses by providing extensive stormwater management and vehicular access improvements. This concept plan shows the detention ponds for stormwater management totaling 5 vehicle access points, which are the east and west ends of the South Aiken Boulevard Loop, a driveway to South Centennial, a driveway from Corporate Parkway, and a driveway from South Aiken Lane. And the concept plan proposes the relocation of the existing driveways to South Centennial and Corporate Parkway and an additional driveway on South Centennial. And the school district is in discussions with DOT to require all current state rights-of-way traversing the campus. One of the primary purposes of this concept plan would improve pedestrian, private vehicle, and bus service circulation. The comp plan does indicate the appropriate use is public institutional. Nearby residential properties are across East Pine Log and South Centennial. The directly adjoining land uses are 2 churches, a daycare center, small commercial development, and a federal military property. The property is currently served by water and sewer provided by the city. Signs are limited to similar sized monument signs in the RS10 zone, which is a monument sign of 24 square feet and 8 in area, 8 feet in height. The total open space is approximately 29.8 acres. Existing parking is adequate to accommodate the current staff and student population, with some overflow area in the underclassmen lot near South Centennial. The exterior facade of the new classroom will consist of earth tone brick, decorative CMU, side metal panels, and aluminum windows. Exterior canopies and covered walkways will be provided. The Planning Commission voted 6-0 or unanimously to recommend the council approve the rezoning of the 2 planned institutional and approve the concept plan with the following conditions. First, the SCDOT approved the proposed street alignment and driveway connections. Second, that should the school district acquire the state rights of way traversing the campus, a recombination plat shall be submitted for administrative review, and that the planned institutional zoning district boundary shall be recognized as following the revised subject property boundaries. Third, that the applicant sign an agreement stating the conditions of approval within 180 days. And this is before council for first reading and public hearing, Madam Mayor and council.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs made the motion.
Second.
Second from Councilman Waldo.
I have a comment I'd like to add, question.
Oh, comments from the public? Comments from council?
Yep. So I have a question I would like to raise far as the South Centennial Avenue, making a left turn out of South Centennial Avenue during school hours.
Yes.
Is a huge concern because, as you know, we have a lot of people that cut from East Pine Log Road to Whiskey, and also from Whiskey to East Pine Log Road. So that is my concern: is you have teenagers trying to get into that heavy traffic during school hours, either before school or after school. Is my concern for that.
I'm Children Hildebrand with Hassan Hildebrand, representing Aiken County Public Schools, 133 Greenville Street here in Aiken. I have Tracy Price with the Facilities Construction Department here with me tonight. I don't really know how to operate this thing, but could you go to the overall site plan, whomever is operating that?
That is, I believe, page 219.
Go up one more.
Go back 2 pages.
There we go.
That's the existing conditions there. Okay, that's the one, the color one there.
Sarah, go down back to the page with the photograph, the aerial photograph.
Can't
And
point at either one of these.
I think
Is that the one you want?
Is it, and I'm sorry, is it this?
Yep.
Wonderful. I need the color aerial, Mary. Okay.
it's 1 page back, 218.
There you go.
That's not a very good picture. Councilman Waldo, I think your question was, and I don't know that you have a good concept plan in your package, but I'll hand you one that you can look at so that you and I know that we're on the same page here. Trying to get my bearings here. This is South Centennial over here. This is the entrance to the apartments across the street from South Centennial. Pine Log Road is over here. Currently there is, and this is the student parking lot. This is basically underclassmen parking here with students here, bus drop-off along this side of the school. This is a larger relocated driveway into and out of the school. There's also a connection that'll be provided at an enlarged student parking lot here. So there'll be 2 ways to get out onto South Centennial. This is the primary, I guess I won't say primary, but this is an exit. And at the Planning Commission, a question was raised about whether there would be a left turn lane here provided so that people could get out onto South Centennial to go left, but also would not restrict people from turning right. What we've seen here, the major traffic problem at the school now is at dismissal. Cars back up almost to about right here from Whiskey Road, which is down here. everybody seems to want to go on to Whiskey Road and go south. And I'm just a civil dirt move around kind of guy, but there is a traffic engineer working for the school district, Mike Ridgway, who also did some design on the Powderhouse Connector. There is your city's traffic engineer, Jennifer Beal. There is a traffic engineer with DOT in Columbia, Daniel Bailey, who deals with all the schools. There is another traffic engineer in Orangeburg, Kevin Weber, the district traffic engineer. They're all four reviewing the plan. They've come back with comments. And Mike, the school district traffic engineer, has addressed those based on the turns. I think the saving grace to all of this is going to be the Powderhouse Connector here, and I'm sorry it's been renamed, but
Tribute
there's
Parkway.
a roundabout planned here at the intersection of Centennial and Corporate Parkway, Councilman Waldo, with everybody wanting to go southbound on Whiskey Road. The study shows that most people that have caused this traffic backup will be going here out to the traffic circle and to the south in this direction, and that will relieve the traffic congestion here. And here, the traffic study shows that there are very few left turns here because, well, actually it's here. I'm sorry, very few people go up this way because they're not going to turn left and go back to Whiskey Road in that direction. So I hope that layman's explanation provides a little bit of insight, but I'll be glad to expand on that if you have any further questions on that.
Yeah, we'll sit down and discuss that further in detail before the second reading. We'll go ahead and get that situated. Before the second reading, we'll sit down and have a conversation.
I'll be glad to meet, explain,
Perfect.
have traffic engineers explain.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? So do we need to put anything in? All those in favor? All those in favor? Thank you. The next item is first reading of an ordinance to annex 611 Boardman Road and zone it residential single-family RS10. Mr. Beaton.
Thank you. This is an ordinance to annex property located at 611 Boardman Road Southeast and to zone the same RS10 residential single family. This is approximately 2/800ths of an acre. The requested zoning is contiguous with surrounding property. It is located in the Virginia Acre subdivision. The Planning Commission at the January 13th meeting unanimously voted to annex and zone RS10 residential single family. It's before council for first reading this evening.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept that?
I so move.
Madam Mayor.
I have Councilwoman Brohl and Councilwoman Morgan, first and second. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Now we have first reading of an ordinance to annex 1124 Conger Drive and zone it residential single-family RS15.
Thank you. It is an ordinance to annex to the corporate limits of the city of Aiken certain property located at 1124 Conger Drive and zone the same RS15 residential single family. This is approximately 4/700ths of an acre located in Conger Woods, and it is compatible with surrounding properties. The Planning Commission at the January 13th meeting unanimously voted to annex the property and zone it RS15, and it is before you for first reading this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance?
I so move, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Morgan made the motion, and a second from Councilwoman Price. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. It's unanimous. Next item is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the city of Aiken to approve a quitclaim deed. Mr. Beedenville.
This is an ordinance authorizing the city to grant a quitclaim deed to Radev LLC, Homesite SC LLC, and the Leon and Renee Boylston Revocable Trust Agreement. While conducting a title search for multiple parcels, attorneys with Hull Barrett discovered an abandoned alley running parallel to Richland Avenue between Union Street and Kershaw Street Northeast. This alley may have been city-owned property at one time, but has been confirmed by staff to be long abandoned and not used for city purposes in recent memory. For the purposes of resolving these title issues, for the property owner, council has been requested to approve a quitclaim deed to relinquish, release, and disclaim any right, title, or interest the city may have in the property. The city attorney and staff reviewed the deed and recommend its approval. This is related to, I know, our Kershaw Street project where we have provided funding for Aiken Corp to administer the potential developers have a nice concept on this property, and this quitclaim deed would help take this potentially one step closer, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Therefore, do we have a motion for this?
I so move.
Councilwoman Diggs?
I second you.
And Councilwoman Morgan second it. Any comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Next item is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the city of Aiken to grant an easement to Kim and Tina Hill. Mr. Bidwell.
Thank you. The next two items involve this property. This is an ordinance authorizing the city of Aiken to grant an easement to Kim and Tina Hill. These are the applicants who came to council last summer to rezone their property to general business to permit a stationary business. This is at Lawrence Street Northwest, adjacent to our Osborne Park and to the Salvation Army property. This is to allow us. It is currently not connected to city sewer, with the closest connection point on Columbia Avenue. The easiest method for the property to obtain access to city sewer is via an easement across city-owned property in Osborne Park. In exchange, the property owners dedicated a portion of their property to the park. Jessica Campbell, our PRT director, and our Thomas Parrott, our Director of Engineering and Utilities, have reviewed the sanitary sewer easement and recommend its approval. And this is before you for consideration this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept this?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve first reading at this public hearing for Kim and Tina Hill. And Jessica, you get a lot of thanks for those two for helping to direct them the proper way.
Thank you, Jessica. There's a motion from Councilwoman Price. And a second.
Second.
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Waldo here jumped on it. The second. And comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. And we'll go on again to the Hills.
Again.
New business. This evening is approval of accepting a deed of dedication for property for Kim and Tina Hill. Mr. Beedenville.
Thank you. This is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a deed of dedication from Kim and Tina Hill. These, as stated earlier, this is related to their need for sewer. They are, in exchange for the easement which passed first reading, they are deeding proposing to deed us approximately 11/10 of an acre, which would put a slight expansion onto Osborne Park. And again, it's been reviewed by staff and approval's recommended. And this is before you, this approval of a resolution, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. I need a motion, please.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Price, and a second
I second.
from Councilwoman Diggs. Comments from the public? Comments from council?
I have a comment. Kim and Tina are moving here from Charleston, South Carolina. They are so excited about an opportunity to establish their business here. And so I look forward to seeing them move, but they're more excited than you can imagine to be welcome to Aiken, but also with the great service that the city of Aiken has rendered them already.
Thank you for that. Any other comments or questions from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Now we move on to petitions and requests. We have 3 items tonight, and the first is approval of a resolution supporting the City of Aiken safety program. Mr. Beaver.
Thank you. This is an annual item. We do have an active risk management and safety program to continue to enhance our operating efficiency and minimize the number of accidental losses that impact our employees, property, and the public. This resolution has been prepared for council consideration to support this. It encourages all our employees and contractors to assist in making the city a safe workplace. Also, passage of the resolution helps us ever so slightly with our premium payments. So this is for council's approval, the annual resolution supporting our safety program, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Price.
I second.
Second from Councilwoman Diggs. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Our next item is approval of a resolution to award a professional services contract to Alfred Benish and Company for the Croft Mill Sewer Improvement Project. Mr. Beatonbow.
Thank you. We do have this resolution before you. We received funds from the EPA through the hard work of William Clyburn Jr., who assists us on federal earmarks, and Senator Lindsey Graham. We received $3 million. It was a $4.5 million grant, or $4.5 million project with a grant award of $3 million, and the balance is coming from CPST4. We put out a request for qualifications for engineering, design, and construction for this improvement project, and Alfred Benish scored the highest as the qualified firm to complete the scope of services for the gravity sewer main. This contract is a not to exceed $1.4 million with the following scope: capacity constraints within the gravity sewer system caused by inconsistent pipe sizing and aging infrastructure. Second, design and construct a parallel gravity sewer line that will provide additional capacity, increase resiliency, and allow for future rehabilitation of the existing line without service disruption. And third, the scope will include setting up the existing force main for future investigations, maintenance, and improvements. This is before council for approval, this contract, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve, to award this?
Madam Mayor, I'd be
resolution?
happy to move that we approve this.
Thank you, Councilwoman Broll. And a second. I got one from Councilwoman Morgan. Thank you. Comments from the public? Comments from council? All those in favor? Thank you. Motion passed. Is that it? We will now open the floor to public comments on non-agenda items. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker and for a total of 30 minutes. All right, before I turn this over to the meeting over to the city manager, I would like to read a letter I received yesterday recognizing Assistant City Manager Lex Kirkland. It was from Claire Payne, and it's regarding turning off garbage trucks when horses approaching. it's just little things make me happy, and it thought this was just wonderful. Dear Mr. Kirkland, Assistant City Manager, I'm writing to thank you for implementing a policy that has the operators of the recycling and trash trucks shut off their vehicles when they see a horse. I was the beneficiary of this policy, she said, on Tuesday, January 13th, when I was riding my horse for the first time on Grace Avenue, heading to the Hitchcock Woods. While I was with two experienced riders and horses, even the best horse can come unglued when they hear or see the big trucks. We safely passed by the truck. I gave my horse a pat and thanked the operator for stopping, and he told us about the policy. Regards, Claire Payne. Thank you.
And
Are there
Madam
any-
Mayor, it really has made a difference in the horse district and people riding.
And I just wanted, it was just a wonderful, brighten my day in this miserable weather.
I know. And I just want to recognize Michael Good with the Salvation Army and just thank him for the good job that they're doing over there and trying to make sure they've got beds available for people who need them and actually opening up the warming shelters during the day. I've had a lot of people commented about that. And so we thank y'all. Thank y'all again to Eyes on Aiken and everybody else out there. Recognized as part of the Second Baptist family here tonight. And our condolences to y'all on the passing of Reverend Speller, who did so much in this city. And I know he and Stuart and Leslie had several meetings on things he wanted to do and things that he did while he was here. And our prayers go, at least mine too. You guys at Second Baptist, I know you don't know where to go right now and what to do. And to his wife, First Lady Krista Speller, and to the 4 kids. We're just keeping y'all up and lifting y'all up in prayer and knowing that, letting you know that we appreciate all the work he did here and the work that Second Baptist does in our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those comments.
I want to add one more thing,
Yes,
Madam Mayor. I want to recognize Ms. Deborah Hart, who's in the audience tonight, for accepting the position for the DRB. I appreciate her for all her hard work, and looking forward to bringing her on that team. It's going to be great. So, thank you,
Deborah,
Ms. Hart.
stand, please.
And I think Deborah was just recognized by Second Baptist Church for how many years of service? Thank you.
Thank you all. Are there any items from Mr. Beedenbow this evening?
Two items. First, I want to note, as I shared with council, we have received we received notification today that FEMA has obligated our largest request of $3.7 million, including this. We've had all of our hurricane costs of $5.1 million obligated. We expect to receive it all in the coming weeks. How that works is they will FEMA, the federal government, will transfer the payment to the governor's office, South Carolina Emergency Management Division, and then the payment is transmitted to the city. So appreciate all the hard work the finance director and her team did, and as well as Lex Kirkland and Sarah Herring to get these payments back to us. The storm was 16 months ago. So it's hard to believe, but we are going to be pretty much made whole, and we're appreciative of that. One last thing, I did ask our resident city meteorologist, the chief, to come up and give a briefing about the weather. He has been attending weather briefings, he and his team, but last week we had a storm and did a lot of prep, but we've got more winter weather coming. So, Chief, if you could update us, please.
For the disclaimer, I am not a meteorologist. I am repeating what the National Weather Service has said and shared with us. So, winter storm watch late Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon, and an extreme cold watch through Sunday morning. Protect people, pets, plants, and pipes. And here's some examples of the extreme cold weather they are forecasting. The low temperatures in Aiken, Friday is 27, Saturday 19, Sunday 13, and Monday 16. And with the winds that they expect, that's going to put the wind chill Saturday night, Sunday morning below zero. So please take caution. Also, they are expecting 2 to 5 inches of snow. So we will be out. We have additional folks out and prepared to help folks that need it.
But no ice on Sunday?
Well, you could have some black ice on the roads.
Okay.
That is the big fear, is that so we'll have some melting and a refreezing in the morning. We are monitoring that. We had a meeting this afternoon to, again, since we had a number of meetings last week, we are prepped for what the weather can bring. I had a discussion today with our contact at Dominion Energy, Scott Neely, and they will be prepared. Again, they're not necessarily expecting, because no freezing rain currently is in the forecast, power outages due to moisture freezing on the lines. But again, the black ice seems to be the biggest worry, and the very cold temperatures.
That's right.
So again, we will have a staff meeting after New Horizons tomorrow to formalize our preparation. We will make decisions on hours. Obviously, our recreation facilities have typically, under normal weather, regular weekend hours. We'll make a decision on that. And over the weekend, if needed, we'll adjust any city hours for Monday. But again, we just need to get a couple more forecasts.
And as a reminder, we've already preemptively, they've rescheduled court for Monday.
That's right. We did cancel court for Monday and are in the process of notifying all participants.
Yep, thank you.
That's all I have this evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn our meeting? Councilwoman Price, and a second from?
Second.
Councilman Waldo. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.